Hi beautiful, today is a step-by-step video. It is on the 3-ball method, but it is doing the nail in sculpted form. So yes, I don't know why I described it that way, but we are sculpting a nail using the 3-ball method along with some tips. So here I'm showing you how I apply my form. I pinch it at the bottom first and then use that middle line as my guide. And then I place it on and then I slowly pinch it from the bottom. And then I move my way up towards the top to make it tighter and so that it's snug to the nail. And then for me, I like to, you'll see that I try to push the form towards my right when I'm looking at it because my nail kind of grows to the left. I don't know if you noticed that. So I kind of try to like line it up. For some reason, I've just done it that way. I line it up so that I like the way my nails sit. So my nails were prepped, by the way. I had prepped them and dehydrated them with alcohol. And then here I am using primer. And then I also purposely used Mia Secret powder and monomer, acrylic powder and monomer, so that you guys can use the most economical, in my opinion, economical and pretty good quality acrylic and monomer that's available. Here, I show you that I actually apply the acrylic dry, and I do that on purpose when I am sculpting because I would rather be able to add a monomer than put the bead on there wet and then it start running down and then I'm fighting with it. So I put it on dry and then I dipped, I don't know if you noticed, I dipped the brush in the monomer and then I started to add more liquid, and it allowed me to basically mold it as if it were clay. Basically it turns kind of like into, it doesn't feel like clay, but it's moldable like clay. So here yes, and the bead was pretty big. I know you noticed that too because I'm using this from the free edge down to the end of the nail extension because yeah, we want it to be, that first bead needs to be bigger because we're building the extension. And then I will do the second bead. I will be placing in the middle, which is where the strength of the nail needs to be. But here I'm showing you that I'm just trying to clean the edges and make sure that the acrylic stays straight out from the free edge or the sidewall. So yeah, you want to constantly try to clean it up and stuff so that's less filing for you. And then here, as you can see, I applied, this bead was a little more wet, and I do that so that it blends into the extension a little better. But again, we don't want it to be too wet. And then I'm just blending and blending and always making sure my sidewalls stay clean and straight. And then the last bead, I'm actually going to, it's a little bit more of a wet bead. And that's because I want it to blend in well with the natural nail. So, and I don't use as much acrylic. I just go in, place it not all the way at the top, and then I use the tip of the brush and go behind the acrylic and guide it down. And then I sweep it down. And as you notice, my finger is angled downwards so that the acrylic doesn't run back into my cuticle. And I am always making sure that the side walls are clean And yeah, I think I put on another bead because it wasn't thick enough. Oh, here's where I wanted to show you is, okay, we did the 3-ball method, but there's a little spot on the end, on the side there, that I didn't think had enough acrylic for, you know, the structure or the strength of the nail. So I put on a little bit more on the corner there. So once you have your 3 beads in and the structure there, you can adjust, like you can see, all right, there's some acrylic that I need, some acrylic here, some acrylic there. And then yeah, you just kind of want to eyeball it and making sure that your nail has a good arch so that the nail has strength. And here I do actually, I go in and I apply a little bit more. And I'm just blending it a little more so that it's flush with the natural nail. And don't forget that this is all in real time. I wanted you to see it. Take your time and take a really good look at how I, you know, how I mold the acrylic and all the steps I take and what it looks like in real time instead of rushing through it. So here I show you a side profile, and I'm just showing you where the arch should be so that the nail has strength. And then I kind of look down the barrel of the nail, or from that view, so that you can see if it has a good structure. And I do find that it is slightly thin at the bottom, at the free edge. So I go in and I add another bead so that, yeah, so that I don't have to do that later. But yeah, add another bead. You don't want it to be too thin, because then when you go to file it, it's just going to bend and crack. So you want it to have a good thickness. So here it is. Again, I'm looking at all the angles, waiting until it sets. You also have the option to pinch it. You don't have to, but it just helps with the aesthetic of the nail and the C curve, and yeah, but you don't have to. And then here I remove the form, and I'm going to be showing you what it looks like down the barrel of the nail. And then as you can see here, the acrylic did run a little bit down. I wasn't too careful on that corner there. So you can actually go in and file it, but in this case, it was really thin, so I go in and I cut it. So I cut it off, and then I go in and I file it. But yeah, guys, just make sure that when you're filing your nails, file on the underside of your side wall, like on the underside, if that makes any sense. So, because a lot of times I have seen where the nails look really pretty, and then when they go to turn it to the side, the underside of the sidewall looks a little jagged, and that could kind of like mess up the look. So you want it to look really neat, and you want to file underneath, and that'll give it a nice sleek a sleek look. It'll look like you actually, you took your time and you made sure all of your edges were straight, and it doesn't look like you rushed through anything. And then here I'm showing you how I taper it in, so it's more of a tapered shape. I want to not take acrylic away from the sidewall itself, like right at the free edge, because that will just cause your nail to break. I go in at the very bottom and I file it in to taper it. And here I show you all angles and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, and then you will go in and just shape and buff to your liking. And that is it. I do hope that this video was helpful to you. I love doing these educational videos, and I hope that you will subscribe and stick around.